I'm Scott Mason. Welcome to AGLIFE. Hey, we're at a super event today. It's not the Super Bowl, it's the Super Bowl cattle competition. It's a Gibson County preview. We're going to watch these 4-H'ers as they show the cattle today. Join us.
Very sound and functional on his feet and legs. The young man does a nice job presenting. Just really a nice place to start off with. The steer in second, I think he's a close thing to this steer in terms of growth and performance and length of body and length of top. From the point of his shoulders back, you really like him.
Here with my buddy Tony Rogers. Tony, we're at the Gibson County Preview Show. Tell us what this is about.
This is a show we started, actually the kids of Gibson County 4-H started this 16 years ago, and we have the show to raise money to give away scholarships to 4-H members in Gibson County.
Hey, I see kids of all ages, Tony. What's the age group that we're going to have today?
They go from 8 years old to 21. 21 there. After that, they have to show as an open show against all breeders. But it's a youth show, is 8 to 21.
And you said 4-H. You can only be in 4-H 10 years. Is that right?
That's correct. Usually start. It used to be an age start, but now they start in 3rd grade and go to the senior year. And that summer of their senior year will be their last year in 4-H.
Now, for all this work, I know there's got to be some prize money. Tell us about that.
Yeah, there's. I believe the premium for grand champion is $500, and then reserve champion is $250.
I'm here with my friend Leslie Rogers, been a 4-H member for 10 years, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, you are actually the national champion. You went out to Denver, competed in a competition, and won the national championship. Tell us a little bit about that.
That was a really exciting time for me and my family. Just being involved with them in this whole process. We've come a long way from where we started, so that was real exciting for us, and we couldn't have asked for a better ending to it.
So in that competition, how many cattle would have been involved in that?
In the Angus show, probably over 400 or 500.
Oh my God, that's unbelievable. Now Tony, you were talking about the tricks of the trade. Kind of enhances the look of some of the cattle. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, you want to feed them. Got a calf coming. You want to feed them a lot of hay, and then before you groom them, and then after they're groomed, you offer them water, which helps fill them out and makes them fuller going to the show ring. They look better that way.
Well, I noticed that you got buckets of water, and they give them feed as well to kind of make them stouter looking. Or?
Right. They'll feed them before they groom and feed them hay, and then water them after they groom them.
Well, let's talk about, you mentioned that they sometimes put them in a cool room or a freezer. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, summertime they'll, a lot of these people put a cattle in a cooler and keep it about 55, 60 degrees, and it enhances them growing hair. The room is dark, kind of confuses their biological clock, and they think it's winter, and they'll stay inside all day in a cooler, and then they turn them out at night.
And how long will they do that? For a week at a time, a month at a time?
No, all summer pretty much while it's hot.
Oh wow.
Yeah, especially if they're showing a lot.
So if you got one that's not, the hair's not really growing that much, that's one of the tricks of the trade.
To grow hair.
Yeah. Right. What else can you tell? Is there anything else about the tricks of the trade that
they use just like anybody does, shampoo, conditioner on them. They use an oil that they spray on the hair. It's called Super Sheen or Show Sheen. Okay. I think it is. It just makes everything look nicer.
I thought I heard somebody say something about makeup. Is there makeup, or is it paint, or?
No, not really makeup, but it's hair glue or hairspray and paint. It's just like a woman getting made up to go out on Friday night. That's what the heifers do, or the steers in today.
Spend a lot of money on those products these farmers do, don't they?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. It's not a cheap sport to participate in, but it's a lot of fun. It's a family thing. Everybody gets involved.
Yeah. Again, you're a very pretty girl. I know you've been in competitions before, as queen competitions. Which is harder, grooming one of these or getting ready for like a prom or?
Definitely beauty contest. I like this one much better.
Okay.
I prefer this.
Now I see cattle that's being painted. I've never seen that before. Tell me about that. What's that all about?
It's just part of the show game, really. They want to grow hair so that they can clip it.
I'm a hair guy.
They basically give them a haircut and make them look pretty, and then they paint them, take them to the show ring. Now, in some Angus shows, they don't let them use paint. They'll use the glue, but not the paint.
What's it take for this to, when it's done, what's it going to look like? When will you know that this is beautified?
Honestly, that's up to them. I don't fit very much. This is pretty much the only show I've fit at, but they're their professors. They're the professionals, so they know what they're doing, and they'll know when their job is done and when the paint needs to go on and when the cow needs to go out in the ring.
And what's it take to win this competition, to be the Super Bowl champion of cattle?
Just got to have a good animal that's sound, walks well, is well presented in the ring.
Hey, stay tuned. We'll be back with more AgLife right after this.
Welcome back to AgLife. Today I'm here at a tobacco sale. I'm here with Mr. Bob Baker. He is the president of Campbell Tobacco Company. I'm also with Tony Hayden. He's the owner of Rosemount Farms here in Utica, Kentucky. We've been doing this for how long?
We started this when the warehouses closed in '04. And we've been receiving from Mr. Baker's company this is our 11th season.
Just a little explanation. The tobacco buyout occurred in 2004. There used to be like 11 warehouses here in Owensboro where the farmers would take their tobacco and then the companies would buy the tobacco there. Now that the tobacco buyout occurred, all those warehouses had to close down, so they kind of do this kind of thing now. What has your experience been since the tobacco buyout?
We've had to do a little scrambling. In the past, showed up on the tobacco market and bought your allotment of tobacco out there.
The government allotted you so much to grow per farm.
Now you have to contract directly with the companies.
Directly with the companies.
We always had that to fall back on if we ran out of tobacco during the season or whatever. Now you pretty well have to buy what you need for the whole year.
It's by the pounds, and you can grow as many acres as they'll let you grow, as many as you can get away with.
It's a bit harder to plan.
Yeah, it does make it difficult, and now the farmers have to directly contract their tobacco. This past year, most all the farmers got cut. What, like 19% or so?
Probably about that much. We do a lot of contracting, but we also, I guess you could call us kind of like scavengers. We take the excess that isn't contracted for, plus we do our own contracting. We're a 100% exporter. We sell most of our product, 98% of it, to West Africa.
I hear they make an interesting product over there. What do they make exactly?
Actually, we send it out, but we treat the tobacco sort of like Kentucky Fried Chicken. We have our own secret formula.
Of course, yeah.
The government actually classifies it as black fat. We use a lot of water and steam. Plus, we put some preservatives on it and stuff, and it's shipped out in leaf form to Africa, and over there they pound it into dry snuff. They add a little potassium to it, and actually snuff it, put it up their nose.
Yeah,
What's the nickname they call it? Eye of the tiger?
Some of it do, yeah. It's used quite a bit over there. Even the college students used to use it to stay awake.
Yeah.
Stay awake when they were having exams.
Interesting. Quick ag fact while we're talking about it, tobacco sales this past year has actually gone up 2.5% in the United States. So it's pretty interesting. It gives the farmers a little bit better of an outlook since they got cut the last year.
Kind of the process that happens here is The farmer calls us, schedules an appointment for us, and we unload it, weigh it in, and we line it up, and then we have a scheduled date to sell with Bob, and he'll come down here, and as of right now, like you see, he's buying it right now.
So how exactly do you go about this buying process? Do you look for a grade?
At one time, the government graded the tobacco, and we were looking for the grades and what we could buy it for and so forth. But now, the way we use it, there's basically two grades we're interested in. One is the real good leaf. That leaf is tied into heads by our factory and sold in West Africa and primarily used in ceremonial things like weddings, chieftaincies, Christmas presents, and so forth like that. And then we have another product that's a loose leaf product, which is a lot cheaper because it's not as labor intensive, and that's probably the everyday usage out there, and that probably represents 85–90% of our product.
Well, now that we have a little bit of background information, you want to go check out the sale and see exactly how it works?
Yeah, okay.
Let's do it. All right. So in here is where the business aspect of the tobacco sale goes. So it's a pretty simple procedure that the tobacco buyer buys the tobacco. They come in here, they cut the checks, and the farmer leaves happy with the check in their hand. There's 3 grades of tobacco. You have the tip, leaf, lugs, or the cutters, and then the flyings down here, it's kind of more the trash, which is still used a lot of times. It's kind of the chopped up for snuff stuff, which is a lot of what is at this sale. We also get some of the lugs and the cutters, but the good stuff, the leaf, that's more cigarettes and that kind of thing, the good tobacco. So what exactly are you looking for here when you're buying the tobacco from these farmers?
Well, one of the things we look at is the color of the tobacco, the quality of it, looking for the imperfections of the tobacco. If it's got a lot of holes in it, it's got what we call frog-eyed looking stuff to it, that would be considered trash, and so that's how we grade it. If it's a better leaf, a better quality, the length of it, we're able to tie it, and because we can tie it, we're able to sell it for more money, so we'll give a little more money for that. Our whole process is a black fat market, so we want tobacco that can turn black, it can turn dark, and so the color is also important to us. The lighter colored stuff won't turn as easy, so we have to do more processing at the plant for it. But so long as it's a good quality and a good color, we're able to make some money on it. We'll pick up this leaf, and this is a real nice quality leaf. It's got a lot of body to it, so it's got a lot of strength, and so we're able to take these leaves, and then we can tie several of them. And what we do is we just kind of pull it apart, and you can see that nice dark color to it. That's a good quality leaf.
So we're ending the tobacco sale today. Tobacco is a high dollar crop here in Kentucky. It makes the farmer a lot of money. Chewing tobacco, dip, cigarettes, cigars. There's a lot of different things that you can do with tobacco. But here in Kentucky, this tobacco is going to be made into snuff. So pretty cool. They're belling it up now, and they're going to take it to Mayfield, Kentucky, where it's going to be processed and then go overseas from there. Pretty cool stuff. Stay tuned, we'll be back with more Ag Life.
This is a cannulated cow. It's important to know that a cow has one stomach with 4 compartments. It goes into the reticulum, which is kind of the honeycomb area, because if you look at the inside of it, it actually looks like a honeycomb. Then into the rumen, which is a very large fermentation vat. From there, it'll go into the omasum and the abomasum. When we put a cannula in a cow, it's going into the rumen. It is important to understand that when you feed a cow, you're actually feeding the microbes in the rumen first. Then whatever's left, that goes into the small intestine, the actual animal gets to either make meat or to produce milk. So part of the research that we do here is to look at ruminal digestibility. We'll take rumen fluid from our cannulated cow and put them into the fermenters. That will then tell us how much the microbes are actually able to digest and how much is making it to the animal to utilize for actual production. So these are the fermenters, which are like 4 artificial stomachs. Most universities will have a continuous culture system. To my knowledge, there's only about 6 universities that have a dual continuous. We control what goes in and what comes out. This is a unique opportunity then for our students and for researchers, because we can actually manipulate the passage rate to be closer to what's actually happening in the animal, even though it is in vitro. So you just, this does not hurt her, by the way. She has completely healed from this. So I'm just going to release the vacuum. So we have this plug that keeps everything in. Basically, she can live for the rest of her life with this cannula in her. We can even breed her if we want, and she can still have calves. It does not hurt. They heal within about 10 days. It is about 98 degrees in here. It's pretty warm. It's a great thing to do during the winter. And you're just gonna come in, and I'm just gonna squeeze this fluid out of it. And it takes quite a bit. And we usually save this and put it back in when we're done. You can tell that she is on a 100% grass diet. There is no corn in there whatsoever. And the grad students and undergraduates who like to participate basically have to fill up 4 of these containers. So it does take a while, but we'll fill those up and then we'll take them back into the lab to put them in the fermenter and determine what the digestibility is of the feedstuffs. I would challenge either one of our cameramen to stick their hand in here. But once the student starts digging around in here and they're like, oh, that's really cool, they think it's pretty cool. All the way in. Just go all the way in. You can do it. See, isn't it warm?
Just squeezing it.
Yep, so she's ruminating and it's squeezing it to move it around.
You call ruminating, it feels like pooping.
When an animal is stressed, they stop ruminating. I can feel feed being squeezed around my hand right now, which means she's ruminating, so she's totally okay with it. She's very calm. The worst thing that we could do is just to take a new feed and feed it to a bunch of animals not knowing what's going to happen. We don't want to feed something that has no nutrients in it or very low digestibility, because the animal will start to lose weight very quickly. The producer really needs to know, if I go plant these forage soybeans or if I go plant this particular oats, will my animal still perform? And that's the kind of research that we do here. We offer 3 different types of research programs. You can come in as a freshman and start doing undergrad research. They are very employable when we are done. Most of our students, they understand that when you do research, there is no such thing as 9 to 5. Because we were able to give them so much hands-on experience, our industry personnel are telling us that they have a work ethic that they're looking for, and they have an understanding that ag is 24/7, 365.